Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to Podcast with GDS. It has been a minute since I've posted, but a very warm welcome back to everybody who's coming back and to all the new watchers, listeners. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Feel free to subscribe to my channel, to like the video, and also to drop a comment if you have anything that you'd like to comment about and if you enjoyed today's recap. So, as you may have seen on the title of today's show, today we're doing a recap, basically a catch up for anybody who's missed out on this week's Skeem. It could have been a day in the week or all the days of this week, or if you just want to catch up and do a recap, well, this is the podcast for that today. So this week's Skeem was quite interesting. I did not even know where to start, but okay, let's get right on to it. So one of the things that we noticed this week, Kwezi, as you may have seen her talks with the lawyer, seems to be wanting to attack Lehasa right now while he's still down. And for a moment there in their discussion with Kgomos, it seemed as though she's still in love with Lehasa, or that she had doubts about continuing with this attack. But then in the end, she was so sure that she'd like to proceed with it, and she's going to be giving it all that she has. So we will see how that one goes, because she says that Lehasa will do anything to her. We know how dangerous he is, and if he had a chance to come at her, he would give it everything. So she's not holding back either. And then Ori goes for an interview, as you might have, if you missed it. So Kwaito was helping out Ori with interview questions, trying to prep him to see if he's ready for the interview, and he also gave him pointers as to what to do, what to say, how to, exude confidence when talking to the interviewers, the works. And so Ori went into this quite prepared, but from what I've seen, he was prepared, but there were certain things there that were just a little off. Maybe he was a little too overconfident, or I don't know. For me, it came across a little disrespectful, but of course, we all have our views, the way that he answered some of those questions. But we will see, because they called him. Yo, guys, people still give people calls right now to tell you didn't make it. Well, some of us never got those. You just know you didn't make it because you didn't get a call. So they called him to inform him that, okay, thank you for coming for the interview. You were one of the people that we're really interested in, but unfortunately you didn't make it. And I really like the question you asked the caller, that, okay, what is it that I did wrong? Please give me pointers. I'd like to know, so that, next time I go to an interview, I do better, or I fix certain mistakes, because I've been doing this for a while now and I really am looking for a job. And so the caller said, don't worry, next week, if I'm not mistaken, we'll contact you, I think on Tuesday, when we come back from the long weekend, so that we can meet, and then I'll give you a few pointers and share what we saw going wrong in the interview. So all the best with that, Ori. We hope to see that, so we also can take some pointers. So that was quite interesting. That was really interesting this week. Also, Tbose and Mapitsi. Oh my goodness, this relationship is oh my goodness. So we see them go through what every relationship goes through: the ups, the downs, the highs, and the lows. How it starts out is all great, but there are challenges that we meet on a day-to-day, and it's really nice to see them go through these challenges, and while they go through them, they find ways to sort it out. They conquer in the end, So it was really nice to see them have arguments. They had their first laugh recently, just after they argued. They're like, okay, this is the first time we argued and nobody walked away. So as you can see, there is some improvement and some growth in that. So we wish them nothing but the best. And later on, we also see that Mantuli invites Stoko and her partner to come for the dinner they're having on Good Friday. So that turns out to be interesting as well, but we will get back to that. So another thing that happened, Lehasa and Preeti have an argument, sort of an altercation over who, yes, Umalumega Lehasa is something else. So he has been just giving Lihasa ideas. Lihasa has always been for Preeti. He's been supportive, and he has not blamed her once for the all that happened after she got kidnapped, because all he was trying to do is serve her. But now the uncle comes with ideas that if you were not here, if you hadn't saved her, she would have been with that guy. If that guy had not turned out to be a kidnapper, they'd have been together. So this girl doesn't care about you. She's here for all the wrong reasons. And all of a sudden, Lihasa starts having these ideas, and now he is fighting with Preeti. I see people saying, okay, now we are seeing his bedside. But look, the guy is going through the most, with all um the not allegations, but what the police have against him, and all these things that are currently coming at him, all he stands to lose. It's really a hard place to be in. And with Preeti, after this whole situation of getting kidnapped, all the trauma, all of them are just, both of them, the two of them are just not in a good space, and it's hard for either one of them to be understanding to the other person's situation and be there for each other, especially because they do not know how to communicate their struggles. That, okay, babe, I'm going through this, please support me. They're just acting up basically, and of course you can't blame them. Being in their situation is really hard. Right, so and then another thing we noticed. So Babaida gets a phone call from Sergeant Tebe, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I called her right. So Ustogo, that was really interesting, was kind of jealous because the sergeant keeps calling Babeile at odd hours, because we know her. She's all about the work all the time. And so she finds herself calling Babeile really at the wrong times. And Togo picked up one of the calls. I think she tried to call Babeile, but he was still in the shower and he didn't come out. So she picks up and she's like, the sergeant is unable to come to the phone right now, and she hangs up, and that is all she says. And she does not pass on the message to her partner that, okay, there was a call coming in for you, someone was looking for you, obviously because she was jealous. And that was also something that wanted to cause a little bit of an argument. But Babile put Stogo's doubts all to rest by affirming her and letting her know that he has got eyes only for her. So that was a really nice part for us to watch as well this week. And then we saw Meki sort of interrogate, if I may use that word, Ulieto about getting married. And his father agreed with her, with Meki, that, you're growing old, you need to now start your own family, build something with someone. And they were on his case. That was nice to see them have that family moment, especially after we saw the tricky relationship that Lieto had with his father. So that was really nice to see this week as well. And then, the shocker before we wrap it up. So Umantuli invites Stoko and her partner to come to the Good Friday dinner. But one thing she does on top of that, when they go to church, as we know how it works, like on for those who watched, the families were just going to church. The Ndulis were going to church. Mantuli's family, Meki's family was also going to church. That was really nice. Everybody was dressed up, looking nice, celebrating and having like a nice dinner. Okay, we didn't see the Abu Meki go to church. We didn't see them go, but we knew that Mantuli was going to church with her family. So what happened is, when they got there, Mantuli saw Clement's father. And she decides to invite him over to come for the dinner that she's having with her family, where Ustogo's gonna be with her new partner. So that was nice for Clement to have his father and his mother both at the dinner. But now we're not thinking about but of course he has to understand, he found a woman who has a child with a father who they're no longer together, yes, but he seems to be mending his ways, and basically just doing better, and we really had to commend him for that. But in the end, what we see is that after they have the dinner at the table, so I'm just gonna mix things up now. After they have the dinner and they're sitting there in the house, everybody leaves the table, they sit in their different places. Clement was busy in the kitchen. Now on the table we have Stogo and her ex-partner as well as Clement, and they're like kind of playing happy families. And that was really, like, we saw Babaile just have this, he was kind of uncomfortable, maybe feeling a little left out, I'm not sure what his feelings were exactly, but he felt a little left out. And we saw Kwaito walk over to where Babili was sitting and had a little conversation with him and gave him a beer and sort of. Okay, thankfully he looked better, but ooh, that was really awkward, really. And I'm sure this coming week, Babila and Stogo will probably have a chat about that incident, I tell you. So we're looking forward to that. Hopefully, whatever happens, we will give you an because Lehasa had an argument with Preeti because of the ideas that the uncle fed him about her not being the right girl for him and her being in his life for the wrong reasons, and whenever she's there, there's just stuff going wrong. So now, because he's stuck in this really trying situation, he argued with her about it, about the theater guy, all of those things, and Preeti just packed her bags and ran off. Or she went home on her own. And when she got there, she does not tell the family, okay, this is what's happening. She just goes there, she gets there, and she covered it up nicely. Did not want to get anybody worried. But I also get the fact that she ran away because it's not a nice environment for her to be in right now. And arguing with Lehasa's now blaming her for his current situation where he was trying to help her, but then it's a little tricky because she's also going through her own things, you know. So yeah, that was that. And then in the end, we see Lehasa now and his friend Nkosi meet up because Lehasa called him up and like, we need to meet immediately. So they meet at his restaurant and he confronts Nkosi about, okay, I hear this is what's happening. Why are you being a betrayer? Because now he's surrounded by betrayers. Preeti is the person she is to him. You know, now he's starting to doubt her love. And also Nkosi is a betrayer. And now he's just feeling like he's lonely and he does not have anyone on his back. The people that he thought he trusted are the people that are just sort of like turning their backs on him. So he was not happy at all. He was drinking and he was drunk when he met up with Nkosi and had an argument with him. Also a confrontation rather, not an argument as such, but it ended up being sort of like an argument because before we knew it, the two were in a boxing match. Lehasa was like trying to beat Nkosi up as he was walking away from the situation, and Nkosi decided to fight back, and then they were at each other, busy fighting. Before it ended, Francois and Koloi tried to separate the two, and that is where this week's episode finally ended. So we don't know how it's going to turn out next week, but so much more is going to be unveiled. You know, things are going to come out. I hope things are going to be sorted out as well where there are issues. But we'll figure it out next week as we continue to watch this entertaining South African show. And me on my side will keep you updated and also just give you whatever you miss. I'll make sure that you have all the details that you need. Thank you very, very much for taking your time to listen to this. Do subscribe to the channel. Do like. Do share your comment. You are more than welcome to do so. Thank you so much for listening in. Until next time, take care of yourselves, your loved ones, and God bless. Because Lehasa had an argument with Preeti because of the ideas that the uncle fed him about her not being the right girl for him and her being in his life for the wrong reasons, and whenever she's there, there's just stuff going wrong. So now, because he's stuck in this really trying situation, he argued with her about it, about the theater guy, all of those things, and Preeti just packed her bags and ran off. Or she went home on her own. And when she got there, she does not tell the family, okay, this is what's happening. She just goes there, she gets there, and she covered it up nicely. Did not want to get anybody worried. But I also get the fact that she ran away because it's not a nice environment for her to be in right now. And arguing with Lehasa's now blaming her for his current situation where he was trying to help her, but then it's a little tricky because she's also going through her own things, you know. So yeah, that was that. And then in the end, we see Lehasa now and his friend Nkosi meet up because Lehasa called him up and like, we need to meet immediately. So they meet at his restaurant and he confronts Nkosi about, okay, I hear this is what's happening. Why are you being a betrayer? Because now he's surrounded by betrayers. Upriti is the person she is to him. Now he's starting to doubt her love. And also Nkosi is a betrayer. And now he's just feeling like he's lonely and he does not have anyone on his back. The people that he thought he trusted are the people that are just sort of like turning their backs on him. So he was not happy at all. He was drinking and he was drunk when he met up with Nkosi and had an argument with him. Also a confrontation rather, not an argument as such, but it ended up being sort of like an argument because before we knew it, the two were in a boxing match. Lihasa was like trying to beat Nkosi up as he was walking away from the situation, and Nkosi decided to fight back, and then they were at each other, busy fighting. Before it ended, Francois and Koloi tried to separate the two, and that is where this week's episode finally ended. So we don't know how it's going to turn out next week, but so much more is going to be unveiled. Keep us glued to our screens. So I really cannot wait for next week. I will definitely keep you updated on what's new. Hope you do watch, and right now I hope you like, you subscribe, or you leave a comment if you have anything at all that you'd like to share. Until next week, take care and God bless you all. Bye.